This week on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Training camp is underway, and after an AFC Championship game appearance, expectations are high in Jacksonville.
Our goal here is to make it to the playoffs, win the AFC South, and go win a Super Bowl.
The quarterback has some new weapons to work with in 2018. We're taking a closer look in the film room with Doug Marrone. Plus, the Jaguars and a local law firm team up to rebuild one Jacksonville neighborhood hit hard by Hurricane Irma. All that and more ahead on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform.
Sit on! Drive your knees!
The sound of football season is in the air. For the first time this training camp, the pads went on and football season is officially back in Jacksonville. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. 2017 was a big year for the Jaguars. They made their first playoff appearance in over a decade. It was a magical run to the AFC Championship game that ended just minutes shy of a Super Bowl berth. The past is the past though, and Doug Marrone has his team focused on the here and now, which means the deck is cleared and the work is just beginning. The Jaguars' 2017 season ended a few minutes short of the Super Bowl with a loss in New England. But Doug Marrone's team is moving forward. The head coach knows to get where this team wants to be, it's a daily grind.
But I'm the person that's in there saying, hey, listen, what are we doing today? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, fine. You all guys want to get there, but my job is to make sure we do what we do today.
Quarterback Blake Bortles signed a new contract this offseason and is ready to live up to big expectations in 2018.
The outside perspective is started to change a little bit. You know, I think ours, for ourselves, has only continued to grow. You know, our expectations are always higher probably than what anybody else expects of us. And you know, that's what we decide and what we want to live up to and who we want to be.
The offense gets a boost with the signing of tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins, and he likes what he's seen from Bortles.
He's going to do what it takes to win. That's what you want in a quarterback, a guy that wants to win and does the job every single day. And if he messes up, he's going to go out there and sling it again, not timid at all. That's what I want in a quarterback. That's what we need in a quarterback. I'm happy we have Blake Bortles here.
Joined now by Brian Sexton and John Oehser, and we just heard new tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins get pretty emotional when defending his quarterback. We look from this point last year, no one was really defending Blake like that, and it shows how far he's come as a quarterback.
Well, it's interesting. He wasn't here last year, ASJ. And yet I thought when he talked this week, he nailed how this organization feels about Blake. They don't really care what people say outside. They think this is a resilient guy. They think this is a guy who can get in the AFC Championship game. They think he's a guy who ignores criticism. All those things that they love about him, I thought Seferian-Jenkins did a great job of enunciating, and it's the quote of training camp so far.
Well, and I don't know whether or not he spent a lot of time talking to his new teammates in that locker room, but if he did, he heard that from them, because last season they were all pointing. Jalen Ramsey, Malik Jackson, all those guys, as Blake was making his run in December, were pointing and saying, stop throwing shade at this guy. He's our quarterback. So it kind of just fits with what we're seeing from this entire Jaguars team.
He endeared himself to his new best friend, too. Good move.
Good move. Now, we know Blake has a ton of mental toughness, and that's no secret, and it helped him so much last season during games. And I think some of that mental toughness came from Doug Marrone training camp.
Well, I think more of the mental side of camp, John, in particular, is the grind than the physical. I mean, let's face it, training camp today physically is not what it was when we first started covering this league. But the mental side of it is, you realize, when Gus was the coach here, Gus Bradley, there was time in the day for players to get off their feet, relax a little bit. That was Gus's core philosophy. Not this guy. From the moment they come in to the moment they leave late at night, every moment of their day is accounted for. They are constantly being pushed in the classroom, on the field, in the weight room. They've got to stick to a schedule. The mental grind is where he gets to these guys.
I ran into Tom McManus this week, who we both covered in 95, 96 when they were real two-a-days. And we kind of did what old guys do. We snickered at the young guys who think camp is tough. And even as a reporter back then, camp was tough. You can't match that is the point. You can't match that with no two-a-days, and Doug knows that. He tries to replace that by making it as mentally taxing as you possibly can. You can't replace the physical, but you can make it difficult. And, you know, it worked last year. Last year, that first week set the tone for the season. And he wants to do that every year. He's going to be the coach here.
And late last season, when these guys were making their run, nothing seemed to get them off of their game because they've been through his camp.
So if you're Doug Marrone and you look at last year's training camp, do you repeat it the same exact way, knowing that it was successful last year?
Well, you know, you're awfully tempted to. he talked about this early on. He'll do little things to change it. I'm sure there'll be schedule changes. He'll look back and say, well, we could have gotten this done a little more. There's a schedule change in the sense that the games are on different days. There's logistic changes. But philosophically, you don't change. This is what this team wants to be. It wants to be tough, wants to be mentally tough. It's what he believes in. I'd be surprised if he changes very much.
The method doesn't change at all. He will demand that these guys be on their game and will challenge them, whether it's walking down the hall with a question or whether it's in a meeting room all day long. Again, he'll change some of the means, but the method will not move.
And if there was any way he could sneak a 2-a-day in, he'd do it.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's against the rules.
Well, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see them back here on the couch later on. There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Still to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Blake Bortles has some new weapons on the offense. Jeff Lageman is in the film room with the head coach to show you what to expect from the new additions. Plus, it's the debut of Jaguars FAQ. This week we find out how well the Jaguars know their teammates. But first, it's time for Know Your Jags, presented by Fields Automotive Group. This week, with summer coming to an end, we're asking the guys about their favorite subject in school.
Favorite school subject and why?
History. I love learning about history, especially Greek and Roman history. Just how the world was built, how it was thought process, and how everything came together.
My favorite school subject was math, and I think it's because I was really good at it.
History. It always interests me, and I don't know, I'm a big military guy, so that was just right down my alley it just always interested me.
I don't know why. Every other subject I was, I was okay. But for some reason, math, I always finished my test first. I always aced them. Never got a question wrong for the most part, unless I got to a little more advanced math, calculus.
My favorite school subject was history. Liking to see I'd like to know what happened, in the past, and through all those, different presidents and all that other stuff in different eras, and I think that was a pretty cool subject.
My favorite school subject was, I want to say English. I just like to write and read and just learn, so.
Recess, definitely. 1 has nothing to do with school. 2, it's not English. English is the worst one.
Favorite school subject was PE.
I always liked science. It just felt so cool and real to me.
Social studies and stuff like that. I think I always kind of more so enjoyed finding out stuff that happened in the past and just becoming more informed and stuff like that.
Don't try science at home, kids. Parent supervision.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank, created to serve, built to perform, and Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
His organization is first class, and I'm just ready to get to work, let the dust settle, and I'm truly, honored and blessed to have this opportunity, and I'm going to take full advantage of it, and work hard and just lay it out there every Sunday.
That was Andrew Norwell back in March, just after he signed with the Jaguars. The former undrafted free agent is excited to be a part of the team. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. In February, the Jaguars rewarded Blake Bortles with a 3-year contract. In March, the gifts kept coming, as the Jaguars added an all-pro guard and 2 offensive weapons in free agency. Jeff Lageman has a look at the newest Jaguars with head coach Doug Marrone in the Cadillac film room.
Doug, you guys certainly had a successful offseason. Everybody's healthy, but the one aspect that's a little different this year, you signed some guys in free agency on the offensive side of the ball that certainly a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah, so we were excited. We looked at those players coming out. Obviously, we studied the tape. Some of them, obviously, we played against, so we knew a little bit about them. So we're excited to get them into our program and get them out on the field.
And let's start with Dante Moncrief. His measurables are amazing. The height, weight, speed combination that he has. And right here on a little stutter go, obviously it accentuates that speed, but he's got those type of numbers.
He does. He has really good numbers. He's big. He wasn't the primary target, obviously, when it was Indianapolis with T.Y. Hilton there. So, again, but when he had the opportunities, he took advantage of those opportunities. And the one thing about him is, it's disappointing right now. We're in training camp and he's not available to us. But we're excited to get him back. He's big, he's strong, he can high point a ball just like you see right here. And, we feel that he can help us when he gets back on the field.
When you talk about the shared experience, you faced him. Okay, here it is against A.J. Boye, who is one of the best route awareness cornerbacks in the league, and Moncrief gets a little space.
It is. He gets a little space, you know, because he does have that speed. Obviously, it's a really good timing route here on the outside. You know, he can catch, he can turn up, and you can see right there, you know, that we go low on him. He's a big body kid that can break tackles.
All right, speaking of big bodies, okay, Norwell, big body, left guard, here he is, Carolina Panthers, and you guys want to run the football, and here he opens up a hole to run the football.
And really that's what he does. He's a, you know, he's a lunch pail type mentality, comes to work every day, is always out there, is always available. You know, he's tough, he can create movement, he can move in space, you can see right here. You know, he can create movement, but the thing I love about him is here. You watch him, you know, follow the ball down the field. You know, his effort, you know, and hustle is outstanding.
Austin Seferian-Jenkins, big body tight end, okay, that can play in line, but also such soft hands for a big guy.
He really does. I mean, he's a, you know, a 275-pound tight end, you know, that runs pretty well, you know, for his size, and he has really excellent hands. And the thing about it, you can see right here, he's another guy that can high point a ball, that can break tackles, that can, you know, be effective in the red zone. So we're excited to have, you know, those three players as part of our offense.
And he's a good blocker too, isn't he?
He is. He does a nice job. There's, you know, he played against us last year, did a good job, has good effort. You know, he's a big body kid. So, you know, hopefully we got everything. We got a guy that can block. We got a guy that can run routes. We can stretch the field vertically. He can make the catches. He can break tackles. And we're looking for him to have a good year.
Looking forward to watching. Thanks, Doug.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. We can't wait to see the fresh faces on offense together this week in the preseason opener. It's time for a new segment here on Jaguars Weekend. We're calling it Jaguars FAQ. This week we're quizzing the Jags on their teammates. Take a look. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, are you ready to play Jaguars FAQ where we quiz you on teammates?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
I am.
I'm ready.
All right. Which two Jaguars play Division I basketball?
Me?
Correct.
No idea. I have no idea.
Austin Seferian-Jenkins.
Who else? I don't know who else did.
And Blake Bortles.
Nope. Jeremy Parnell.
Yeah, Parnell looked like he could do a nice little drop step dunk.
Which one of your teammates is fluent in sign language?
Fluent in sign language. Fluent in sign language.
I have no idea. I did not know that.
Cody Kessler. Cody, can you show him you're fluent in sign language? Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, not a camera. Okay. I guess it's not Cody. I guess he's not fluent.
Can I guess a height, please?
A height?
Can I get a height?
Oh, I don't know. He's pretty tall. He's taller than you.
Oh, well, that's going to help.
Wow, we have two Jaguars. Who knew? Starts with an M.
Oh, Marquise?
Yeah. I knew that'd give it away. Which rookie can beatbox?
Probably all of them think they can.
Floats up, flight, sight, seats up, flight, sight, floats up, flight, sight, seats up, flight, sight, floats, sight.
Rookie that can beatbox. I'm terrible at this game.
NC State.
I can't think of his name. I can see him. What's his name?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Chark.
I see his face. I need to know my teammates more. Wait a minute.
Offense, 77 Smith. Richardson?
Yep.
He can't beatbox worth it. He can't.
I have no clue.
O-lineman.
Oh.
That's a lie. Me and you both know that's a lie.
William?
Richardson?
William Richardson?
Yes.
Since you said that, so you can thank him when he gets called out in the team meeting. I want to hear, so I heard you could beatbox, Will. Let's see it.
I think so. You definitely passed. Thank you for playing Jaguars FAQ.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me.
There's still more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Up next, we get in the community with the Jaguars and head into the kitchen for game day grub. Stay with us.
Be great today. D-line on three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Nah, let's just get some water. Everybody get some water, man. Don't need to rush this. Oh, we're gonna get our work in, man. Get your water.
That was Jaguars defensive lineman Malik Jackson mic'd up at training camp. Those big guys are always vocal at practice. Check out the full Mic'd Up feature each week on Jaguars.com. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. In the offseason, the Jaguars take time away from football, but that doesn't mean they take a break from serving the Jacksonville community. This week's Baptist Health feature takes us to a Jacksonville neighborhood hit hard by Hurricane Irma.
It's tranquil now, but last October, with Hurricane Irma lashing northern Florida, the rising Ribault River behind Will Dixon's home raged over its banks and flooded the only place he's ever called home.
It was scary. It was scary because we was like back and forth, looking outside, and then I'm not gonna look at it, I go lay down.
The waters inundated the folks in this north side neighborhood and left them feeling desperate and worse.
We was trying to get out of here. They had called the rescue people. The rescue people turned around. They didn't come because they couldn't come up in here. It was water everywhere.
It's like something was grabbing your heart, squeezing it, and then when somebody said they was gonna help, it was just like that pressure off your heart just come up.
Where do you turn when everything you have is gone? Who could possibly help when so many people were in need? Jaguars owner Shad Khan, a new neighbor, and the law firm of Padgett & Padgett, who've helped their neighbors in need for generations, literally stepped into the breach and spearheaded an effort to create relief and hope quickly.
To see how things like this affect a family and folks, things that most people cannot even imagine that they were dealing with.
Millions of dollars were pledged quickly, and nearly as quickly were on their way to Ken Knight Drive and the residents whose homes were devastated. The job was massive, but the love that flowed towards them from their neighbors was nearly as overwhelming as the flood itself.
I said, Lord, I thank you. I just thank God that I was able to live again in my house.
For Khan and Padgett, it was the right thing to do, and hopefully an example for the future.
We're all part of the same community. When people need help, if you're able to provide it, to me, that's part of your responsibility.
For Jaguars Weekend, I'm Brian Sexton.
Great to see the Padgett & Padgett law firm and the Khan family come together for something so meaningful. Now time to get into the kitchen with Game Day Grub, presented by Tico People's Gas. This week, it's a Southern favorite, fried chicken. For the full recipe and to check out all the Game Day Grub segments, visit peoplesgas.com/cooking. There's more ahead on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. The keys to the preseason are next. A lot of training camp practices happening so far. We're going to see this team live on the field on Thursday against the Saints, presented by Pet Paradise. We're watching the sounds of camp. We're seeing all the battles going on. One of the key battles has to be wide receiver.
I think it's the most key, don't you?
Well, I think it's key, not that they're going to decide who makes the team necessarily. I think the five guys, Lee, Westbrook, Moncrief, Cole, and help me out, Chark, are in. And I think you're going to see it come down to either Rashad Green or Jadon Mickens, depending on punt return. It's a battle in the sense that you're looking to see what roles they're going to play. After a few days, I'm anxious to see. I think Chark is number 5 right now. By the end of this season, he's going to be way up there, and you wonder where he's going to be because he looks good.
And earlier in the week, A.J. Boye was singing the praises of the wide receivers. Now, they're teammates, I get it, but those defensive backs don't like to talk too good about wide receivers. That, to me, that was a clue that these guys are coming and starting to make plays. Even Blake Bortles talked about how these guys have to get on the same page. Well, getting on the same page means winning a job.
Another competition, a smaller one, is linebacker. Under new leadership with Telvin Smith, and then you have the strong side linebacker, Blair Brown and Leon Jacobs making a case for Sam linebacker.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to come down to much of a competition. I think Leon Jacobs, the rookie, he's been working to the strong side. His body type fits that position. I think they like Blair Brown more in the middle and on the weak side as a backup. Doug keeps talking about being a good off-the-ball linebacker. What he means is he's good on the weak side off the ball. So, unless Jacobs does something to make them think he can't do it, I think he's going to be the strong side backer.
At Wisconsin, Jacobs went forward. He was a good pass rusher. What he's shown us is the ability to get in the hip pocket of the tight end, ASJ, and follow him up the field. I've been impressed with what I've seen. We didn't know what to expect. He has been better than advertised.
Well, thanks for your input, fellas. Thanks for joining us.
We're happy.
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll see you this Thursday against the Saints, and thank you for tuning in to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.